understand the laughter at first. It sounded distant, like applause from another room. For a few seconds, honestly thought they were reacting to something behind me, maybe a slide glitch, maybe a late arrival. Took time for the sound to settle inside my body and rearrange itself into meaning. They were laughing at me, the way he had said it so casually into the microphone. You just write checks. Let the professionals handle the actual creativity. He smiled when he said it, the familiar one. The one he used at dinners and investor lunches. Polite, effortless, certain he was being charming. The room accepted it immediately. Chairs shifted, people leaned forward. Someone near the front clapped once, uncertainly, then stopped. Most just laughed and moved on. I stayed seated, 'cause I was stunned, because I wasn't. Some part of me had been waiting for that sentence for years. 2. Support, for so long that even I had started using the word seriously. I handled contracts, edited proposals, rewrote his emails at midnight so he wouldn't sound reckless, built pitch decks when he was tired, smoothed over conflicts he never noticed, remembered which executives hated which phrases, kept lists of their moods. When deals went well, he said, "we." When they went badly, he said, "they." I never corrected either. Felt easier to be useful than visible, and I told myself it was love. Standing up didn't feel dramatic, felt like standing after your leg falls asleep. Awkward, slightly delayed, more practical than brave. I remember the microphone being heavier than expected. I remember thinking absurdly that I should clear my throat. I didn't. "You're right," I said. My voice sounded calm. That surprised me most. "Tomorrow I'm writing one last check to my divorce lawyer." Silence arrived faster than applause ever does. Not shocked silence, processing silence. The kind where people start doing mental math. Did the microphone back before anyone could react. Then I sat down, too. After that, things didn't explode. They thinned. Texts became formal. Meetings moved without me. My name disappeared from email threads I had built. At home, we spoke like coworkers who had already given notice. "I'll be late." "Okay." "Did you move the folder?" "No." He didn't apologize. He didn't argue. He assumed, I think, that this would pass. Most things always had. Didn't realize was that I had kept everything. Not out of strategy, out of habit. Every draft, every revision, every note from investors asking me for clarification. Every message where they thanked me for translating his ideas. Never considered them evidence. They were just my work. When the board began asking questions after a series of quiet complaints about mismanagement, about unclear leadership, about stalled innovation, those files became relevant. Not because I offered them, because they asked. A review committee was formed. Then another. Then lawyers appeared in conference rooms where pastries used to sit. He tried to manage it the way he managed everything: charm first, confidence second, denial last. It didn't work. Paper is immune to tone. The meeting where control shifted wasn't loud. No shouting, no slammed doors, just a long table, neutral walls, people flipping through printed pages that looked strangely small in their hands. One of the directors spoke carefully. "These materials indicate that a significant portion of our strategic development was conducted by your spouse." Past tense. Not wife, not partner, spouse. As if already preparing the grammar for absence. He looked at me then, really looked, for the first time in years, expectation, with confusion, as if trying to locate when I had become separate from him. I didn't meet his eyes, not out of cruelty, out of fatigue. The vote happened later. By then everyone already knew the result. Leadership was restructured, sets reassigned, legal ownership recalculated. The penthouse went into my name, so did the remaining shares. So did the car. None of it felt like winning. It felt like closing accounts. We stopped speaking entirely after the settlement. No dramatic goodbye, no final argument. Just two people signing different stacks of paper in the same room. Months later, I heard from a neighbor that he'd run into him at the mailbox. Apparently, he had complained about unfairness, about betrayal, how support had somehow turned into ownership. The neighbor had listened quietly, then said, "You know, sounds like she was building the house while you were busy admiring the view." He didn't respond, just walked back inside. About that sometimes, not with satisfaction, with recognition, that someone finally said aloud what I never had. Office now is smaller, quieter, no assistants hovering, no constant praise, just a window, a desk, and work that carries my name. Still hesitate before sending emails, still soften sentences, still wonder if I'm being too much. Some habits survive revolutions, but when I sit in meetings now, people look at me when questions are asked. They wait, they listen, and I answer. Not loudly, not triumphantly, just clearly. That is enough.